So it's been about 2 years since I started Muay Thai. In that time, I also started my YouTube channel and made this video. And that video has kind of taken off. It's been getting recommended to a lot of people who are interested in starting Muay Thai. And as a newish YouTuber, that's been amazing. On the flip side, that video was the first video I ever filmed and made. And with most things you do, the first time you do it usually isn't the best. So since I think I've gotten better at both Muay Thai and making YouTube videos, I thought I'd make a follow-up to that. I feel like I've come a really long way with Muay Thai, yet with still a lot to learn. And despite occasionally getting things like this, it's a journey that I'm really glad I started.
Yeah, that's a shiny.
If you're interested in starting Muay Thai in your 30s or beyond, I hope this provides some helpful insight as to what it's like. Now first, I just want to say starting Muay Thai, or really any combat sport, is pretty intimidating, especially if you're not really a fighter. And that's how I would describe myself. I'm pretty easygoing, friendly, and non-confrontational. I don't like the idea of hurting someone, even accidentally. And I hadn't ever been in a fight before. So I didn't start Muay Thai because I wanted to learn how to beat people up. I started because I didn't want to be absolutely useless if I ever had to defend myself. And I mean, everyone has their own reasons for starting Muay Thai, but I think if you're choosing to start it in your 30s or later in life, you probably aren't that aggressive of a person. You probably just want to learn how to protect yourself and your loved ones. That was what mainly got me into it. And even though fighting has never really come naturally to me, I'm really glad I chose to start. Now, you learn a lot of things really quickly in Muay Thai. Like, leg kicks hurt a lot and would be really good for self-defense. Being 50 pounds heavier than someone does not give you an advantage if they know what they're doing and you don't. And actually knowing how to fight requires an insanely high degree of mental and physical fortitude. And now that I'm 2 years into Muay Thai, it's a really interesting point to be at. Sometimes people will be like, oh, you've been doing it for 2 years. You must be pretty good now. And it's like, well, that depends. Being good is very relative. If I'm hitting pads, well then, yeah, I feel like I have the general movement and technique down pretty well. I can pick up new combos pretty quickly. I pivot my feet and turn my hips most of the time. My punches seem pretty powerful if I'm hitting the pads. And if I'm sparring against someone who's new, well then yeah, I definitely feel like my 2 years of experience come into play. But that doesn't automatically guarantee that I'm better than anyone who's new. I didn't get this from someone who was more experienced than me. I got it from someone who was pretty new. He hit me with a good shot. Overall, if I'm sparring against someone who's new, I feel like I'm pretty good in that regard. But if I'm sparring against someone who's much more experienced than me, well then no, I don't think I'm pretty good. In fact, there were times where it feels like I revert to being a complete beginner. If my opponent is better than me and hits hard, well then sometimes everything I've learned just goes out the window. Now, I'm just fighting for my life. I'm just trying to survive the round. And those are definitely not the most fun situations to be in. But I'm glad that I'm going through them in training, rather than unexpectedly in a real life situation. And I've learned a lot through that training. Like, I've learned that by default, I'm not really an aggressive fighter. I'm usually not the one pushing the pace. I'm a lot more defensive than offensive. I like to wait for my openings. Actually, I think a big part of that might be due to video games. I was playing through God of War Ragnarok when I first started Muay Thai, and in that game, sometimes your attacks don't do anything if the enemy has their guard up. The best thing to do is to parry their attack at the last second, which results in a sweet slow motion block, and then you counter them. And that's how you do the most damage. But back in real life, even if you block a shot, it still hurts. And obviously, time doesn't slow down and give you a long window to counter. And so what these situations have taught me is that you can't always be on defense. If someone is unloading a bunch of punches on you, sometimes the only way to get them to stop is to interrupt them and hit them back. And often that means overcoming the mental block of protecting yourself, lowering your shield, and stepping into the oncoming attack with attacks of your own, fighting fire with fire. And I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned after 2 years. Muay Thai is all about overcoming mental blocks. And there are so many of them. Overcoming the mental block of hitting someone, overcoming the mental block of getting hit, and overcoming the mental block of throwing punches that you know may not land. Pad work and sparring are two very different things. And whenever I learn new combos on the pads, I usually feel very confident, especially as I land all those shots with a nice crack. But as soon as I start sparring someone afterwards, I always have a mental block about throwing that same combo. Okay, his hands are up, so there's no point throwing the combo. It's not gonna land. Okay, maybe I'll just wait for him to punch, and then I'll counter with a... or not. Every time you show up to Muay Thai, it's about overcoming these mental blocks. Accepting that you're gonna have to throw some punches that don't land. Accepting that you're gonna get hit and it's probably gonna hurt. Accepting that you'll have to step out of your comfort zone in order to get better. And another big mental block I often struggle with is how hard to throw. I usually don't punch very hard, maybe at like 30% power. And I'm sure the beginners in the class probably appreciate that, but the advanced folks probably do not. They hit hard, and they want to get hit hard back in return for the challenge. If you aren't getting challenged, you aren't getting better. And I think that's the other big thing I've learned after 2 years. Being good at Muay Thai means also being a good training partner. Almost everything you learn is through partner drills and partner work. And having a bad training partner can really make things suck. If your partner doesn't know how to hold pads properly, nothing lands and it makes you feel like a total beginner. Having a sparring partner who isn't aiming for your face isn't going to help you improve your head movement. But a training partner who's absolutely beating the crap out of you isn't going to help you improve either. So having a good training partner makes all the difference. If I'm partnered up with someone who has a good attitude, who doesn't make me feel overly pressured, who holds the pads properly, and who gives me a challenge without going too light or too hard, I feel like that creates the perfect environment for getting better. And if I think of what I'm most proud of my own Muay Thai journey over these past 2 years, it's that I've developed into a good training partner. I'm definitely not the best fighter, but I think I'm a pretty good person to partner up with, regardless of if my partner is a beginner, more intermediate, or super advanced. And in that sense, I think I've become pretty good at Muay Thai. Starting it has been one of the best decisions of my life. And if you're considering it for yourself, if you're willing to put in the work, I definitely think it'll be the same for you. Anyway, that's it for today. If you found this insightful, your thumbs up is very much appreciated. You may also enjoy the other video I made about starting Muay Thai in your 30s, which you can find here or in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Behind you, Kratos!